Hello guys, welcome back again to another tutorial. My name is Dorothy. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how I sew this beautiful dress you see me putting on. In my previous video, we did the drafting, so in this video, we are going to be putting all the pieces together to make this beautiful dress. So if you are just seeing this video and you have not watched the one we did the drafting, I'm going to leave the link of the video in the description box and also on end screen, so make sure you check it out. Now let's get started with this video. These are all the pieces we drafted in the previous video. I'm just trying to put everything together. These two pieces right here are my both back pieces and this is my front piece. So now I'm just going to keep the back pieces aside while we work on the front piece. Now I will open up the front piece like this. The first thing I'm going to do is to pipe the armhole, and I've already cut out the piece that I'll be using to do that. It's more like a bias strip and it is 1.5 inches wide. So I'm going to place it on the armhole like this, then I will use my office pin to hold it down. After holding it, I'm just going to head over to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch this like this. Then after that, I'm going to fold this piece in like this, then I'll fold it again, then I will make a top stitch on it. If you know how to fix bias tape on the dress, it is the same thing that I am explaining right here, so go ahead and do that. I'm going to do the same thing to the second armhole and also the back pieces armhole. So let me go and do this and bring it so that you see what we have. This is what I have after I was done piping the armhole. This is the front piece and also these are the back pieces. You can see how neat they are. So the next thing I'm going to do is to keep the front piece aside while we work on the back pieces. The next thing we are going to be working on is the zipper allowance. So I'll place the both back pieces together, right side facing each other. For this dress, I don't want my zipper to be at the back. I want it to be at the side, so I will simply block the zipper allowance at the back. So after placing the both back pieces together, I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch from this top right here all the way to the point where I want my slit to start from. I left 1 inch zipper allowance, so I'm going to be sewing this by the 1 inch zipper allowance that I left. So go ahead and do the same thing. Now for the slit, I want my slit to be 8 inches long, so I went on to measure it like this, then I make a mark. So this is where my zipper allowance stitch is going to stop and this is where the slit will start from. So now let's go over to the sewing machine and do this. This is what I have after I was done sewing the zipper allowance. So the next thing we are going to do is to join the bodies of the dress. So I'm going to place the back pieces like this, then I will place the front piece on it, right side facing each other. Now I'm going to go over to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch the side by the 1 inch stitching allowance that I left. So go ahead and do the same thing. If you want, you can actually take the measurement of the bodies before you sew, but since I know the sewing allowance that I left, which is 1 inch, I'm going to go over to my sewing table and I'm going to stitch the side by the 1 inch. This is what I have after I was done joining the both side, and I also went on to iron the zipper allowance flat. Now let me turn this over to the right side so that you see what it looks like, and this is what it looks like on the right side. Now we are going to keep this aside while we work on the collar. So this is the pieces that I cut out for my collar. Like I said, if you have not watched the previous video, I'm going to drop the link of the video on end screen. Make sure you click it and watch it after watching this one. I discovered that the collar width was too long, so I just folded the collar into two like this, then I trim out of the width. Now this is the collar that we'll be using to create the off shoulder effect, as you all know. So on this curvy edge right here, I'm going to come in by 4 inches and I'll make a mark. This part is going to cover up one part of the shoulder. After making the mark here, I'm going to turn this to the other side and I'll make the same mark on this other side as well. So I'm going to be stitching this up, so I need to indicate that so that by the time I take it to the sewing machine, I know where my stitch is going to stop. So now I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch this part you see me marking. I'm going to fold this back into two again. On this edge here, I'm going to come in by 4 inches. After that, I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch this side you see me marking like this. I will stitch this part and I'll also block the edge like this. I will also do the same thing to the other side as well. So let me go and stitch this up and bring it so that you see what we have. So guys, this is what I have after I was done stitching. So I'm just going to use this opening to turn this over to the right side. You see this edge right here, you can use sharp object to push it out. So I'm just going to use my scissors to push out all the sharp edges. After that, I'm going to take this over to the ironing table and iron this properly. This is what I have after I was done ironing. Now let's fix this on the dress. To fix this off collar shoulder, the first thing I'm going to do is to turn this dress over to the wrong face. After that, I will place the collar on the right face of the dress. Then I will use my office pin to hold it together. I will use my office pin to hold these two pieces together until I get to this edge before the armhole opening. After using office pin to hold the side, I'm going to arrange this other side. Then I'll place this side on the armhole or on this edge before the armhole. Then I will start pinning it until I get to this other side of the edge before the armhole. I hope you understand the English that I have been speaking. If you don't understand, just take your time, watch this video, go over it again, you will get it. All I'm just trying to do or explain is to fix the off shoulder collar on the dress. That's all. Now I'm going to go over to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch from this edge here to this edge. You can see the opening on the armhole right here. After there, I'm going to stitch the side to this other edge right here. Then this opening here, I'm just going to place it together and I'm going to stitch this down. I'm going to sew it. You can go ahead and pin it before you sew, or you can sew it directly on the sewing machine. It's totally fine. So after pinning this, I'm going to go over to the sewing machine. I'm going to sew this part too. So guys, this is what I have after I was done sewing. You can see how neat it looks. So now to create the collar, I'm just going to fold in the collar into two like this. You can see how beautiful it is. Now the next thing we are going to be working on is the zip. Like I told you before, I'll be fixing my zip on the side. So now I'm just going to loose up this side, then I'll take it over to the sewing machine and fix the zipper. The zipper that I'm using is an invisible zipper, so it will not show at all. This is what I have it looking like after I was done fixing the zipper. You can see how nice it turned out. You can barely know if there is a zipper at all on the side or on the dress. And there is another way you can adjust the collar. You can decide to fold it up like this. It's actually beautiful like this also, or you double fold it like I did earlier. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to take this dress to a weaver to weave it, and after that I'll be using my hemming gum to hem down the slit area. I'll use hemming gum to hold that side down, then I'll fold the length of the dress. But before that, let me keep this aside while we work on the bow and band. Now to sew for the bow, I'm just going to fold this piece into two like this. Then I'm going to sew all these edges as you see me directing, but I'll be leaving like 3 inches opening so that I will use it to turn this over to the right face. And this is what I have after I was done stitching all the way around, and this is the opening that I left. So now I'm just going to use this opening to turn this piece to the right side. After turning it to the right side, I will take it over to the ironing table to iron it out. This is what I have after I was done turning and ironing this. So for this opening right here, I'm going to take it over to the sewing machine and I'll make a top stitch on it. Now for this band that will go around the bow, what I'm going to do is to fold it into two, just the way you see me doing, and I'll take this over to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch this the way you see me directing, but I'll be leaving like 2 inches opening on one side so that I will turn this over to the right side. This is what I have after I was done sewing the band, and this is where I left opening right here. So now I'm just going to turn this over to the right side. After turning this over to the right side, I will take it to the ironing table and iron it properly. This is what I have after I was done ironing this. You can see how neat it is. Now for this opening right here, I'm going to fold in the edges, take it over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to make a top stitch on it. So guys, this is what I have after I was done making the top stitch on this and also on the band. Now let me keep this band aside while we create the bow. Now to create the bow, you're just going to be folding it like this as if you're making a pleat, but this one in the middle. So you're just going to be pleating this in the middle. Once you're done making the pleats, you're just going to use a rope to tie the middle so that it stays firm. After that, arrange this properly so that the bow will form better. You can see what I have after I was done arranging it. Now I'm just going to use the band to tie the middle. That is where I tie the small rope. I'll be tying this band on the small rope like this. And once you've tied and arranged your bow very well, let's fix it to the dress. On the dress, I'm just going to place the bow right here. Then I will use my needle and thread to tack it. So go ahead and do the same thing. Place your bow on the side you want it to be. Then use your needle and thread to tack it together just the way you see me doing. After tacking, cut out the rope, and that's pretty much about it. If you find this video really helpful, do well by giving this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on your bell notifications so that you will get notified when I drop a new video. If you have any question, any feedback, or any style inspiration you would like us to recreate, let me know in the comment section. I reply to comments, so I will definitely reply to yours. And the last thing I did was to weave and hem the length of the dress. For now, bye. I will see you all in my next video.